لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل، نعم المولى ونعم النصير. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، خالق السماوات والأرض، إلها واحدا أحدا صمدا لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، خاتم النبيين، رحمة للعالمين، طه وياسين بالقاسم محمد. وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين المنتجبين. ورحمة الله على محبيهم، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم وقاتليهم وغاصب حقوق حقهم ومنكر فضائلهم أجمعين من يومنا هذا إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله سبحانه وتبارك في كتابه الحكيم وفرقانه المجيد وقوله الحق. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. Respected sisters and brothers, my youngsters, my elders, Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullah. As we move forward in our discussion on developing and building the self, using the Quran Majid and the sayings and the lives of the Ma'asumeen as a guidance, we have spoken before that we also want to make sure that our intellectual ability, our preparation for the future is all falling in line with what the Ahl Bayt have taught us to bring us that perfection, to bring us that completion as insan that we need to be. Yesterday we tried to complete our discussion on the family situation, and one of the things that a number of mu'mineen were asking me, just to make sure that I clarified, was about when I said that do not become a friend, or at least I must have come out like that do not be a friend with your children. I did not mean, and I apologize for perhaps the inability on my part to clarify that. I did not mean that do not become friends with your children at all. What I was saying, or what I was trying to say, was that don't become so close or friendly with the children that the level of respect from a parent to a child to a parent is lost. That was the only thing. Of course, we need to be close to our children. The children need to be close to us. We want to have that bond, but not the same bond that they have with their friends amongst each other, where they don't worry about what they say, what they feel, what they think. There needs to still be that respect level. And I was mentioning and I was emphasizing, the respect is on all levels between the husband and wife, the children to the parents, parents to the children, children to the grandparents, grandparents to the grandchildren. So in that entire sphere, the respect, love, fraternity is what I was referring to. So not that we don't become friends, don't become close, but rather make sure that the boundaries are also established. And also, perhaps some of the mu'mineen were asking me to clarify that hadith, which perhaps maybe in the course of another discussion, when I talk about parents and parental responsibilities, that might come up, about the 3 stages of a child's development and what the Ma'asumeen have said, particularly Amir al-Mu'mineen, as far as the first 7 years, the middle 7 years, and the third 7-year period. Inshallah, if the time permits us, and inshallah, if the issue arises, I will then, inshallah, briefly give an explanation on that, inshallah. So one salawat upon Muhammad and Ali Muhammad, please. Today, inshallah, in tonight's discussion, as I had been promising you for a couple of nights now, I'm taking you on a little journey, inshallah. I'm taking you on a trip. Don't worry, your fast will still be okay, your ability to do your namaz full, not qasr, will still be there. I'm taking you on a ruhani spirit, a journey, inshallah. And I hope you will be with me. Because in order to understand what our Ahlul Bayt have told us, why they told us certain things, the context in which they have told us various things, become very important for us to understand who we are and what our relationship with the Ahlul Bayt and following the Ahlul Bayt does. When we follow the Ahlul Bayt, there is a benefit to us. There is a benefit, of course, in the Akhirah for sure, but there's also certain things in the dunya that benefit us, that help us as well. There is a hadith of Imam Ja'far ibn Muhammad as-Sadiq alayhi salatu was-salam, in which Mawla is quoted as saying that our Shia will believe in three things, without which you are still a Muslim, but you won't be a follower of the Ahlul Bayt. You won't be considered a Shia. The Imam says first and foremost of that is the belief in the qabr of the questioning from Munkar and Nakir. Yani we will be questioned by Munkar and Nakir. In Dua Kumail, Amirul Mu'mineen refers to Karam al-Qatamain, the two writers. And that Imam says that those who believe, they will be considered our Shia. This is one of the three, the first of the three, or one of the three. The second thing the Imam says that our Shia will believe in is Shafa'at on the Day of Judgment. And the same Imam also clarifies, he says, and Shaheed Dasta Ghaib in his Gunahan Kabira, his book, his monumental work, Gunahan Kabira, Major Sins, Shaheed Dasta Ghaib mentions that don't consider Shafa'at as a license to sin. Shafa'at is not a license to sin. Ke bas hum guna karta rahe, so apre क़यामत दिवस तो इमाम शफात करवाना चाह रहे, आपने जहन्नम में जाओ नहीं खपे. लेकिन इमाम कहते हैं कि हम भूल जाते हैं, यानी हमारी नज़र में ये बात नहीं होती है कि कब्र में भी हमको कुछ सख्तियाँ बर्दाश्त करनी पड़ेगी, सकरात मौत भी हमको गुजरना पड़ेगा, आक़िबत से भी गुजरना, यानी यौम क़यामत इंशाअल्लाह जहन्नम में जाने से पहले अहलुल बैत इंशाअल्लाह बिइज़्निल्लाह हमारी शफात करेंगे. लेकिन इमाम शशुम कहते हैं कि अब से लेकर क़यामत तक का ख्याल रखना. That is on your own responsibility. So Shafa'at doesn't mean that we keep sinning and sinning and I don't have to worry anything. No, you try to do your best. Shafa'at is a last minute, inshallah, last resort help, just in case we have still fallen short, then we get help by the Ahlul Bayt, inshallah. So that we are counting on. So Imam says that's the second thing our Shia will believe in. The third thing that our Shia will believe in, Imam has said, is the physical mi'raj of our grandfather Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The physical mi'raj. My question to my Mawla, my question to my Mawla Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam is, Yabna Rasulullah, what difference does it make to you what I believe? आपको क्या फर्क पड़ता है मौला कि मेरे दिल में ईमान कौन सा है, क्या चीज़ है, मैं ये मानता हूँ या नहीं मानता हूँ, आपको क्या फर्क पड़ता है मौला इब्न रसूलुल्लाह? Why is it so important to you, Mawla, to believe in this, for me to believe in this, for us to believe in this? The Imam will give an answer that will come in the end of today's discussion, or towards the end of today's discussion. So keep it on mind. You know, in computer terminology, they tell you Control S. मालूम है ना इसका मतलब क्या है? कंट्रोल है. सब नौजवान समझते हैं, जो ज़ईफ़ बूढ़े लोग बुज़ुर्ग लोग हैं वो भी प्रिटेंड करते कि समझते हैं, और कुछ हमारी एज के लोग भी हैं वो भी हम प्रिटेंड करते हैं कि शायद कुछ समझ में आ जाए दौरान गुफ्तगू. सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि मोहम्मद. It means save. Control S, save it. We're coming back to this later. Now I need to come to the point. What had happened was the Quran Majid, 17th surah of the Holy Quran, 15th Separa's very first surah. It starts out, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Subhana alladhi asra bi'abdihi laylam min al-masjid al-harami ila al-masjid al-aqsa alladhi barakna hawlahu linuriyahu min ayatina innahu was-sami'ul basir. Allah Ta'ala is glorifying Himself, that glory be to the one, Subhan hai wo Zat, जो अपने अब्द को रात की तारीकी में ले चुके, मस्जिद अल हराम से मस्जिद अल अक्सा तक, ताकि जिनका प्रीसिंक्स, जिनकी सरज़मीन हमने बरकत पर करार पाया है. And then Allah Ta'ala says that we showed him from our ayatina, we showed our signs to him in Allah Sami'un Basir. Allah is one who hears and sees. The event being referred to here is the Mi'raj, the ascension of Rasulullah. The Prophet went to the height of the heavens. And we are told that now here the commentators, Mufassirin, when they are talking on min al-Masjid al-Haram from Makkah ila al-Masjid al-Aqsa alladhi barakna hawlahu linuriyahu min ayatina, the commentators, some are saying that this is referring to Masjid al-Aqsa, which was, at that time it was not under Muslim rule, but it was still a place, al-Ibadat from the time of Hazrat Sulaiman Nabi Allah. What today is in Palestine, Masjid, what we call Masjid al-Aqsa, some commentators are referring to that Masjid al-Aqsa. Some are taking the actual meaning of Masjid al-Aqsa and talking Masjid al-Aqsa ka matlab bahut dur, yani sabse dur masjid. The Aqsa is referring to that, so they are talking about the masjid that is in the heavens. Whichever group of commentators, what we know from Mi'raj and in Hadith al-Mi'raj and in the writings, Allama Majlisi in his Hayat al-Qulub has got a chapter. Not much is available in English, but in certain translations have taken place on Hadith al-Mi'raj. I'm not going to pray what happened on Mi'raj. When the Prophet went from here to Masjid al-Aqsa, he saw this, he went through each of the levels of Jannat. He saw the various places, he talked to the Anbiya, he met Hazrat Isa on the 4th, he led Namaz al-Jamaat, he talked to the Malaika, he saw so many things. And then he went to the Jahannams, the various levels of Jahannam, he saw what was happening there. Sab kuch dekh kar. How long did the journey take? Not even 1 second. The blink of an eye might be too fast. Computers today are becoming so fast that they used to talk about seconds, then milliseconds, gigaseconds, microseconds, all these words that I didn't even know existed. Now they're using them as, MB, GB, all these funny things. Allahu Akbar. May Allah give me the ability to understand this language and this is what's happening. But it is a blink of a second, the blink of an eye. This is what they're telling me. And so the next day, when Rasulullah was sitting with the Ashab, and he was telling them that I went on Mi'raj, I saw this, I saw that, I talked to these Anbiya, I talked to Hazrat Isa, and I met with Malaika, and Jibreel took me, and I was on Buraq, and everything he was talking about. And they asked him, Rasulullah, how long did it take? He said, a second. And I'm saying a second. Allahu Alam, how micro, milli, whatever the second. So two groups of some companions amongst those who were believing Rasulullah, they ended up into two groups. And these two groups refused to believe in Mi'raj, and each of them had their own reason. The first group refused to believe in Mi'raj simply because this could not happen. It was not possible to have gone from Makkah to Jerusalem or from Makkah to the heavens, and all this happens, and your blanket has not even moved. मानने को तैयार नहीं था. And you can understand this. You can understand this because as it is, the Muslims were a minority in Makkah. Say na, they were a minority. They didn't have any power. ताकत नहीं थी, कुछ भी नहीं था, हथियार भी नहीं थे, फौज भी नहीं थी. So now if you tell people, they will laugh at you even more. और हंसी मजाक करने की बात हो जाएगी. And if you tell them, because we Muslims, we've got a serious issue that we need to address. And in one of my discussions last night, I was mentioning this. I said, we Muslims become very apologetic. When 9/11 happened, I heard Muslims in Canada talking as if they did 9/11. Maaf kijiye, maaf kar jamne. Oh, we're really sorry. They would issue public statements of apology and regret. And we distance ourselves. Why become apologetic? When the Zionists killed 11 or 17 people in Salatul Fajr, did the Jewish community come out and apologize for what happened? Did the Christians apologize for what happened in the Inquisition in Spain and in Portugal? But why do we have this inferiority complex and we have to say sorry to everybody for things that we had nothing to do with? In fact, we have been the recipients of zulm. We, the Shias, have been the recipients of zulm for 1400 years. And yet we were apologetic. People actually came to our Husainiya and they were asking or calling, कि हमें दाढ़ी मुंडावी सके ताकि कोई ने खबर ना पड़े कि हमें मुसलमान छे. हमारी माँ बहनों चादर उतारी ना के ताकि कोई ने खबर ना पड़े कि हम मुसलमान छे. Can we change our name from Muhammad to George? Allahu Akbar. We became so scared, so apologetic. I know people till today, they shorten, Ali becomes Al and Muhammad becomes Mo and, Hussein becomes, I don't want to get into that. But you understand what I'm saying. Samajh rahe ho na? And we become apologetic. So what happened was the Muslims at that time were so few that they became apologetic and they decided to have a solution to this problem. They decided that, you know what, we can't let the Prophet go on the Mi'raj. We'll say that he dreamt it. You see, today we had our discussion on Surah Yasin in the afternoon in the masjid after namaz. Now, imagine for a moment, I go to Shakil Bhai and I say, ke, Bhai, mane ja kaam che. I need to go to Dubai. And he looks at me as if he's going to have a heart attack. He said, yeah? I said, but you know what? I'll be back by the night majlis. And he will probably think to himself and he'll tell me, Shafiq bhai jak thaki gaya cha. Athwadiyu thai gyu chhe ne ya. I think we must be, you know, the, mashallah, the muhabbat of the mu'mineen I'm grateful for, I'm thankful for. But the tension of the majlises, the tension of the discussion, the environment, the program being so busy, mashallah, the night programs, the day program, morning, everything is getting to him. He'll say, Sheikh Sahab, I think it's better if we postpone this. But if I tell him that I dreamt or I'll dream that I'm going to Dubai, 3,400 kilometers away, then he'll say, Alhamdulillah. और बेचारा महबूब भाई ने भी याद ही नहीं था कि रात ना पहुंची जा सके नहीं पहुंच जाए. You can dream whatever you want, शफीक भाई. हमने ये काय तरह से क्या याद ही नहीं. तमने जे सपना जोवाय तमे જોઈ લો. हमने ना કાઈ જાતા નહીં. એવું ના થાય કે રસ્તામાં કાઈ થઈ જાય, ટ્રાફિક થઈ જાય, પ્લેન ડિલે થઈ જાય, ફ્લાઇટ ડિલે થઈ જાય, ઓલી બોટ ડિલે થઈ જાય, તમે ઝંઝીબાર જવાની વાત કરો, જંગબાર જાવું છે, તમને દિલ ચાહે છે, પણ ખુદાની વાસ્તે અમારા પ્રોગ્રામને નહીં બગાડતા. So if I say that I'm dreaming, you will give me independence, eh? सही है ना? उसमें आपको इतराज नहीं होगा. कोई मैंने नहीं किया. पर હું કહું કે હું આ કર્યો તો હું ગયો તો દુબઈ. આજે બપોરના નમાઝ બાદ હું ગયો તો પાછો આવી ગયો છું. ત્યારે તો બધા માનશે કે હવે આપણે એને મને લાગે છે ને મગજ ચાલ્યો ગયો છે. એને મગજ ઉપર ફાતિહા પડીને બીજા કોઈને બોલાવી લે. Because what's happened? So you'll tell me one group of people decided we cannot let Rasulullah go because this is not possible. It is impossible. You cannot go from Dar es Salaam to Dubai and come back in such a short time. It's not possible, practical. Now, I want to ask the Mu'mineen one thing. If I tell you that I needed to, or somebody wants to go from Dar es Salaam to Toronto, you will tell me, okay, now come with me 150 years ago, 200 years ago. If you wanted to go, and I was asking Hazrat Google this afternoon, he told me 7,957 miles, 12,800 kilometers. If you want to go from Dar es Salaam to Dubai, straight line, eh? I'm not talking about going through the Darya, east, the Ko, no, that's different. Straight line, 12,830 kilometers. Now give or take. કોઈને બી બીજાને પૂછા કરશો તો કદાચ કંઈક જવાબ મળી જશે 100 કિલોમીટર યા 100 માઇલ ઉપર નીચે, whatever. 150 years ago, you needed to go by boat, maybe from the southern tip of Africa, South Africa, around, and then you go to the coast of eastern Canada, Halifax, and then વહાંથી તમને ટોરન્ટો જાવ હોય તો ગોરા ગાડી લઈને તમે 6-7 મહિના 8 મહિના લાગી જશે. બરાબર ને? પછી Zamano badli gyu, 1900s આવ્યા. And what happened? They created a beautiful machine. See, the people for thousands of years were looking at the birds. The creation of Allah is such. The creation of Allah is so beautiful. That Subhanaka faqina adhab an-nar. Rabbana ma khalaqta hadha batila. Subhanaka faqina adhab an-nar. That, Ya Allah, you have created this. This is not in batil. There's a beauty, there's a truth in this creation. ऐसी हकीकत है खिलकत में कि अगर इंसान तवज्जो करेंगे तो ज़हन हैरान हो जाएंगे. People used to see the birds flying and they used to wish कि काश हम भी उड़ सकते. So they eventually succeeded. They made an airplane. MashaAllah. The airplane was born in the 1900s and it started flying, and after some years they were able to make transatlantic flights. They were able to make flights, and the first airplanes could take you from Toronto to London in about 20 hours, because it had to stop for refueling, had to stop for this, that and the other. About 24 hours. From 8 months, 8 મહિનાની સફર 12 કલાક 20 કલાકમાં થઈ ગઈ. If you were to go from Toronto to Dar, if we were to use those airplanes that the Wright brothers and others had developed, had devised, then that trip might have taken maybe 36, 48 hours about. But 48 hours तो बेहतर है ना, क्या 8 महीना ने, क्या 40 कलाक? सही है ना? मेरे साथ तो दे रहे हो ना? So what happened was that changed. That 6 month, 8 month trip now became 40 hours. And then they came up with Hazrat Boeing, Janab Airbus came around and said, we're going to make it even faster. If there's direct flights between Dar and Toronto, we can do it in 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours, give or take. And in the 1970s, after so much research, Hazrat Concorde was born. Now it's Marhum Concorde. Fatima baad mein parenge, lekin Marhum to ho gaya na. So many problems, but what did they say? Concorde, Toronto to New York, Toronto to London, 3.5 hours. If it was to fly from Toronto to Dar, maximum 6 hours. 5 and some hours, they were telling me. 5 hours and 55 minutes maybe. Less than 6 hours, Allahu Akbar. My question to the mu'mineen who is sitting here, my question to my sisters and brothers, can you see a day coming when these children, when they grow up, there will be some faster way of getting from Dar es Salaam to Toronto? Can you see that day coming? If you remember in the 80s and 90s, they used to say, beam me up, Scotty. Beam me up. Yani you can go on this telescopic, telepathic, telegraphic way from one place to another. We can see it happening. We can see the speed increasing. At the beginning, I just mentioned how fast these computers have become. How many seconds it takes, how many milliseconds it takes. My question is, has the distance between Dar es Salaam and Toronto changed? The same 12,830 kilometers. But the way we move has changed. From 6 months to a few hours, maybe to a few seconds. Ek zamana aayega ne? So what I am saying is, if insan has the ability to create a mode of transportation that can bring those distances so close together, even though the distances are still the same, then cannot the Khaliq of insan, the creator of insan, not take his Habib, his Abd on a journey, take him through the heavens and take him through everything else of creation, right to the Arsh Azim in a matter of a blink of a second. One salawat upon Muhammadin alim. He is the creator, he is the Khaliq. The Imam already told us, believe in it because you will see the zamana. अगर 50 साल पहले ये तकरीर ऐलान करने की हम कोशिश करते तो मुश्किल हो जाती हमारे लिए. Today we can see it unfolding in front of our eyes. We can see what has happened in front of our eyes. How fast the community, the world has changed. They tell me, scientists are telling me, that the amount of advancement that has happened in the last 75 years has been greater than the whole of human recorded history combined. Puri tarikh-e-insaniyat ko mila do. Aur ye 75 years jo guzre hai, usko mila do. Ye 75 years mein zyada tarki hui hai. More advancement. So the answer, the beginning preliminary was already given by Imam Sadiq. Believe in it. You will see it one day. उस ज़माने में समझना मुश्किल था, आज आसान हो गया है. Technology has reached a point. So one group of those early Muslims rejected Mi'raj because it was not possible. Our Imams told us to believe. The second group of Muslims at that time rejected Mi'raj because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had said one thing. When he was sitting with the ashab, he looks over at Amirul Mu'mineen wa Imam al-Muttaqin and he says, Ya Ali, Mi'raj ka tazkira aap karoge ya main karo? La ilaha illallah. Ali, do you want to tell the Mi'raj or should I narrate Mi'raj? So those who were allergic to Ali, they said, Jana hi nahi denge. Jana hi nahi denge. ये रसूल अकरम ख्वाब की बात करेंगे, वहाँ जो लहजा था, जो वॉइस था, वो अली का था, अंगूठी थी वो अली की थी, जाने ही नहीं देंगे आपको, आपने ख्वाब देख लिया था. Now they rejected Mi'raj because of this allergy to Ali ibn Abi Talib. And some till today, I have engaged in conversations when they have asked me, the non-Shias have asked me, what, you Shias believe that Ali went on Mi'raj? How can you say this is Rasulullah's Mi'raj? And of course, Rasulullah went on Miraj many times, not just one time. कई मर्तबा गए थे, कई रिवायतें हैं. But the problem was not Miraj. The problem was this allergy. थोड़ी सी बीमारी थी. Now they were thinking this, how Ali has gone on Miraj. Has anybody seen the space shuttles lifting off on television, or if any of you were lucky enough to go to, कितने लोग देखे जरा हाथ ऊंचा उठाइए, हाथ ऊंचा करिए. टेलीविजन में टियो 3 जना माशाल्लाह, 5,000 नंबर, 4 5 6 जना જોયા છે ઓલો સ્પેસ શટલ. અખબારમાં તો જોયા, છાપામાં તો જોયા છો ને? તે બી નથી જોયા. પોસ્ટ તમે ના જોયો તો હું તમને પોસ્ટ કાર્ડ મોકલાવીશ કેનેડાથી. It's beautiful. It's when you see it, beautiful. From Cape Canaveral, Florida, east coast of Florida, ઓલી સ્પેસ શટલ જબ જાય છે, એ મોટી મોટી આગ નીકળે છે એન્જિન્સમાંથી. લિફ્ટ ઓફ, ટેક ઓફ થાય છે. 9 8 7 6 सब करके टेक ऑफ हो जाते हैं, 0 होकर टेक ऑफ. Beautiful sign, beautiful scene. It goes up so high, goes and makes a complete orbit around the earth, and after some weeks it comes back. Now when that shuttle goes, it's beautiful. If you don't, YouTube has it, mashallah, everything is on YouTube now, the good, the bad and the ugly. And some people have even said even some pictures are available on Facebook, all kinds of these things are available. You can see these takeoffs and liftoffs, and the ones that don't explode, they are the ones that inshallah you can have enjoyment looking at. Florida se chali jati upar, east coast of America, southeast coast. And now what is happening is in another place far away, they have what they call mission control. Does anybody know where mission control is? State, give me the state or the city if you know, if you remember. It's in a place called Houston in Texas. Now, I should say alhamdulillah or astaghfirullah, I've had a couple of opportunities many years ago to go to these parts of America. Southern America sometimes becomes so hot that one of my friends from Phoenix, Arizona, he used to say that welcome to the airport of Jahannam. Etli garmi. Etli shadid garmi wahan ke ek jagah mein. So Houston has got mission control there. And mission control is monitoring whatever is happening in the shuttle there. Everything that they are feeling, seeing, knowing in the space shuttle, mission control in Houston is monitoring. એ લોકોને એટલા સુધી ખબર છે કે હવા કેવી છે, હવાનું ટેમ્પરેચર શું છે, શ્વાસ કેવી રીતે લે છે. And everything that is any conversation, so much so that the specialists have told me that even when they breathe, they can hear it in mission control in Austin. If they even pass gas, they can hear it down there. Imagine. They're very careful. Burping, everything. They're so careful. Because in that mission, I was looking very carefully. And I was looking for the wire. The wire from the shuttle to mission control. Wire मैंने देखा नहीं. तो यार बच्चा हुई ने मैंने किया कि शेख साहब, what are you talking about wires? And believe me, at home I still have a corded telephone, a wired telephone. I still have. They said, what's that? That was from the dinosaur time, wasn't it? I said, no, આજે છે મારા પાસે વાક્ય છે. હું મને હજી યાદ છે કે ઓલા cell phones એટલા મોટા હતા કે પાટલામાં નાખો તો પાટલું ઉતરી જાય છે. So heavy, big cell phones that are like a brick. I have one as a yadgiri. They said, Papa, now they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller, so tiny that they can fit in funny places now. You can lose them if there's a small hole in your pocket. That's how small cell phones are. The size, I saw a Japanese phone that was the size of a fingernail, the fingertip. I said, mashallah. But Sheikh, there's no more wires. I said, what? No more wires? They say, yeah, don't you understand? There's no more wires. The wires, and it's all wireless. Look at this phone. Wow, it's wireless. I said, I don't understand. They tell me that there are beams of light that are being thrown away everywhere. Beams of light are everywhere. If you have a Wi-Fi signal at home, there's things flying everywhere. હું તો બી ગયો, ડરી ગયો. કે હું ના થાય કે કોઈ લાઈટ બને કંઈક લાગી જાય. Because I was thinking of lightning. If lightning hits me, I'll be barbecue. They said, no, those lights are safe. I said, that light is safe. I didn't understand. He says, yeah, see, when you make a telephone call, The light beams are going to a satellite or somewhere. It bounces to the connection, and that connects you to whoever you are calling, from your phone to their phone. Wherever you are calling. Haji sudi mara samajh mein baat na aayi vi. Ek kida mission control and the shuttle is beaming light to each other. Haji mara samajh mein na aayi vi. And I asked them, I said, how do you translate light into Arabic? Jazakallah. They told me it is Noor. Now I understand. Now I understand there is Noor, light that is beaming from here to there. And mission control and the shuttle are in touch with each other. Now I understand that my Rasul, Allah's Rasul, went on Mi'raj. The shuttle went. He went to the Arsh Azim. Mission control was Ali ibn Abi Talib. The connection was the Noor of Muhammad and Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم أول ما خلق الله نوري. The very first thing Allah created was my light, the light of Muhammad. أنا وعلي من نور واحد. Me and Ali are from the same light. One salawat upon Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. The light of Muhammad and the light of Ali. So why is there a surprise? Ayyuhal Muslimun, O Muslims of the world, why are you confused? Our Imam Sadiq already told us, believe in it, because a time will come when you will see the reality of it. How many beams of light are around us every single second? Do we see them? जब कोई खुदा का तज़किरा करता है कि खुदा को मानो, कैसे माने, हम देखते नहीं है, वो देखते नहीं, लेकिन वाईफाई सिग्नल को मानते हैं. वाईफाई को मानते हैं, खुदा को मानने से इनकार कर देख नहीं सकते. Allahu Akbar. What a beautiful journey Rasulullah went on. Mi'raj. He went to the heavens. Mission control. Ali ibn Abi Talib was conveying the message. Rasulullah went, "Ey Allah ke Rasul, ey Payghambar Islam, ey Allah ke Mehboob, ey Allah ke Muhammad, kash hum bhi ja sakte Mi'raj pe." We wish we could go on Mi'raj. We wanted to see everything. Qala Rasulullahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sallallahu Muhammad. Ayyuhal Muslimun, as-salatu mi'rajul mu'min. Har roz, har din, every single day of our lives, 5 times a day, you are also being invited for Mi'raj. The namaz that you are reciting, that is your Mi'raj. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. अस्सलातो मेराजुल मोमिन. आपको भी मौका मिलता है, हमको भी चांस मिलता है, हर रोज एक मर्तबा नहीं 5 मर्तबा मेराज पे. What is Mi'raj? Going higher, higher, reaching the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Higher. Have any of you, most of you said you have not seen the shuttle. Have any of you been on an airplane? Your exercise today will be there. Now, if you don't answer me properly, I will make you stand up and answer, okay, have you been on an airplane? And તમે નહીં ઊભા થાઓ તો તમારો દોસ્ત કહે તમે કેમ ખોટો બોલે છે શેખને? હું તને જોયું છું પ્લેનમાં. તમને જોયું છે પ્લેનમાં. તમે So show me your hands. How many of you sat on an airplane? Ali Raza bhai bhi શરમાય છે. તમે ટોરોન્ટો ત્યાં કેવી રીતે આવ્યા? ઘોડાગાડી ઉપર આવ્યા? રજાની સાહેબ? તકરીબન 80%, 90% of you. હવે બચ્ચાને તમે એરપ્લેનમાં લઈ જાઓ તો where do they like to sit? My kids fight over it all the time. Where do they like to sit? Kids like what? Window seat. હવે બારે દેખાશે શું બાપા? કઈ દેખાશે બારે? આપણે જ્યારે 32,000 ફીટ ઉપર આશું પણ ના બચ્ચા મજા છે કે લોકો બાદલ જોશો, ક્લાઉડ જોશું આપણે, इसमें भी મજા આ જાતી હે ના. હવે હું બચ્ચાની વાત કરું છું, આપણે બુઝુર્ગમાં કેમ કે હું બી કોશિશ કરું છું વિન્ડો સીટ. હવે ઉંમર એવી થઈ ગઈ છે કે ઘડી ઘડી ટોયલેટમાં જવું ખપે છે તો અમે આયલ સીટ લઈએ છીએ, વિન્ડો સીટ નથી લેતા મજબૂરન. પણ ચોઈસ હોત ને આ મુશ્કેલ મુસીબત ના હોત તો આપણે વિન્ડોના બાજુમાં બેસી જાય. દેખાય છે શું? કાંઈ દેખાતું નથી પણ ઓલા જે ફિલિંગ કે આપણે હવે we are above the clouds. We like to feel like we are powerful. We are high. We want to be Sulaiman. We want to be looking down. हर वक्त हर ज़माने में लोग को यही निगाह से पूरी उम्मत पूरी दुनिया को देखता है कि हम बुलंद है तुम कुछ सीखो, है ना. The pilot announces, put your seat belt on, make sure they show you this mask and everything. And it's very interesting. Every time I have sat on the plane, I have thought about it so phenomenally. Every time. They tell you that if you have children with you, if you have a partner with you, if you have a disabled person with you, if you have an elderly person with you, put your own face mask first, then help them. पूरी जिंदगी मुझे ये बताया गया पहले दूसरी की मदद करो फिर अपने आप की मदद करो. दूसरे को बचाओ बाद में अपने आप को बचाओ. दूसरे को खाना खिलाओ बाद में खुद खाओ. But on the plane they tell you, no, put your own mask first, then, because if you don't put your own mask on, then you might die. You are no useless to anybody else. The Quran and Majid said the same thing. Ku anfusikum wa ahlikum minan nar. Save yourself, then those around you from the fire of Jahannam. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. As-salatu mi'rajul mu'min. You're sitting on the plane, seatbelt is closed. Now you're going up. You're leaving from Darussalam airport. 1,000, 2,000 feet. Now what do you see? You see the airport dekha se ne? When you get to 2,000, 3,000 feet, now you can see a quarter of Darussalam. You go up 5,000 feet, now you can see the Darya, the Indian Ocean. You can see so much, you can see the Imam. Jo beta, Imam aya che, Upanga aya che, jo everything. Jo have Zanzibar bhi dekha che, jo Jangbar Island che, now you are 10,000 feet. My question, believers, ayyuhal mu'minun, ayyuhal muslimun, ayyuhal khojaun, agar aap 5,000 feet ma, 10,000 feet ma tame jao cho, and you are looking down from that elevation of 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 feet. Now tell me, when you look down, you will see Darussalam, you will see Zanzibar Island, you will see this. If I ask you, hey, can you show me my house? Can you show it to me? You'll say, maybe. Can you see the colors of the cars? No, you cannot see those colors. You will see that there's something moving, but you will not be able to see specifics. The higher you go, the bigger picture will be seen. लेकिन ये पता नहीं चलेगा कि कौन गोरा है, कौन कल्ला है. कौन हिंदुस्तानी है, कौन पाकिस्तानी है, कौन खोजा है, कौन अफ्रीकाई है, कौन अमेरिकाई है, कौन यूरोपियन है. जितना बुलंद होते जाओगे ये छोटे छोटे कचरे नजर नहीं आएंगे. जितनी बुलंदी पे जाओगे ये छोटी छोटी चीजें पता नहीं चलेगा. कौन मुझे क्या बोला नजर नहीं आएगा, कौन मेरा दोस्त है, कौन मेरा दुश्मन है नजर नहीं आएगा. The whole picture will be seen. That is what Mi'rajul Mu'min means. When you say Allahu Akbar, you go so high that it doesn't matter. We are all the same. We are all the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Doesn't matter whose language is what, whose background is what, whose color is what, whose ethnicity is what. Doesn't matter, because we are going on Mi'raj. That is why when you say Allahu Akbar, when you stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Imam Khomeini Allahu Maqam, in his Adab al-Salat, he says that your Salat can truly reach Mi'raj when you understand what Allah ta'ala expects of you and you take it as a Mi'raj. There is so much hidden meaning in the Salat. Every day I ask myself, do I do that? Do I remember? Do I say, this is my Mi'raj? Allahu Akbar. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ki haji mara dil ma books che, mara dil ma dushmani che, mara dil ma ke aam che, awala am che, olo mane aam kehro to, mara agar jo ubo che namaz ma, I mane gate wale garu aipo to, I mane badnami kehro to, I mane behurmati kehro to. The person behind me, hamaro dost che. What are we thinking? How do we see the world? As-salatu mi'rajul mu'min. Our Aimma foresaw this. Our Imams told, our sixth Imam, that's why I said Control S. Now you can put Control V and paste. That now we understand why the Imam said, believe. Iman rakho. Ye cheeze mano. Puri dunya mane ya na mane. और मुसलमान माने या ना माने वो हमको कोई परवाह नहीं है. हमारे शिया मानेंगे ये बात. Because you will see it. Today, it's so easy for us to explain. Inshallah, there are many other things I wanted to say. We will, inshallah, continue this science and technology discussion in tomorrow's discussion as well, inshallah. That the Shia will believe in things. Because when Imam Sahib al-Zaman Ajjallah Ta'ala Dhuhra comes, the technology will be at such a point that people used to wonder कि यहाँ पे बताया गया है रिवाज में कि इमाम कूफे में होंगे, इसको पता चलेगा यूरोप में क्या हो रहा है. Today, you've got this earth and that earth. You can sit in Darussalam and you know what is happening in Tokyo. Imam we've already been told Imam has this technology. Not that Imam will have the technology. Imam has the technology. And one of the qualities, inshallah we will be talking about the qualities of the Shia who are true muntazareen Imam, who are true in doing intizar of the Imam. Our discussion is coming. Then one of the qualities of those Shias is that they will not be with the technology, they will be ahead of the technology. We must keep ourselves ready for that. We cannot be with technology. We have to be ahead of the technology. We must be the best we can be. Our taqwa and our iman must be the best it can be. Then we will be muntazareen of the Imam. Then we will be ashab and the ansar of the Imam. It's not just enough to say al-ajal al-ajal ya mawla. I'm going to have a whole discussion on this inshallah. What does it mean when we say al-ajal al-ajal ya mawla ya sahib? What does it mean? Inshallah that will come. That is what our Imams have told us. Believe in it. That's the difference it makes. Our Mawla has no benefit if we believe something or not. But our Mawla wants us to make sure we are ahead of the time. That's why those who were close to the Imam, they understood the role of the Imam and the actions and the words and the deeds of the Imam. They understood what it meant. Those who were close to the Imam, those who had Aqidah on the Imam, those who had the ma'rifat of the Imam, they will understand what the Imam said. A man comes in Medina Munawwara to our fourth Imam, Imam Ali ibn al-Hussein, Zainul Abidin alayhi salatu wasalam, and he says, Yabna Rasulullah, Mawla, you have been remembering the tragedy of Karbala. So many years have passed. Such a long time has passed. You are still crying for Karbala. You are still remembering your father Hussein on the plains of Karbala. When will this stop? Is this not too much? Shahadat is your family's, a part of your family's tradition. To be shaheed is a part of your family, Mawla. You're still remembering Imam Hussein so much. Imam Sajjad का जवाब यह था कि कुरान मजीद से वाकिफियत है. सवाल करने वाले ने सवाल किया, जी मौला कुरान पढ़ा हो, कुरान से वाकिफ हो. इमाम ने कहा सूरह यूसुफ का जिक्र तिलावत की हो. जवाब देने वाले ने जवाब दिया कि जी मौला सूरह यूसुफ भी पढ़ा हो, सूरह यूसुफ भी पढ़ चुका हो. इमाम ज़ैनुल आबिदीन ने कहा कि याकूब का एक बेटा, 12 में से एक बेटा यूसुफ गायब हो गया था नज़रों के सामने से, जबकि इल्म नबुव्वत से पता था, पता चल गया था, पता है नबी है, अल्लाह का नबी है, पता है कि यूसुफ कत्ल नहीं किए गए हैं, यूसुफ जिंदा है. लेकिन यूसुफ की से जुदाई का ये असर था कि नतीजा ये था कि बाप रोते रोते हज़रत याकूब अंधे हो गए थे, नाबीना हो गया था. अंधाई में ये हालत हो गई थी, अंधाई की ये हालत हो गई थी. इतने रो रहे थे, इतना आज़ादारी किया, इतना गम मनाया, इतने आंसू बहाए थे हज़रत याकूब. तो इमाम ज़ैनुल आबिदीन सवाल करने वाले से सवाल करते हैं कि ये एक यूसुफ की बात थी कि याकूब की बिदाई चल गई, हमारे आंखों के सामने 18 यूसुफ को कत्ल, हमारे आंखों के सामने 18 यूसुफ को कत्ल किया गया. और ये नहीं, सिर्फ यह तक नहीं, आपने कहा कि शहादत तो हमारा फैमिली की एक विरासत है, हमारा फैमिली का एक सुन्नत है. शहादत तो है, लेकिन शहादत के अलावा हमारी माँ बहनों की क्या हालत हो गई थी. चादरें छीनी गई थी, बेमकना चादर फिराया गया था करबला से कूफा, कूफा से शाम. क्या ये भी हमको बर्दाश्त करना? Oh Allah, accept this ibadat from us. Give us the tawfiq to remain away from sins. Forgive our sins, Ya Allah. Let us be able to act on the teachings of the Quran and Majid and the Ahlul Bayt. Ya Allah, those who are ill, grant them shifa kamila from their illnesses. Those who are in debt, help them fulfill their debts. Those who don't have children, who don't have offspring, grant them God-fearing, pious, muttaqi children. Ya Allah, those who have got offspring, keep them on the right path, the path of Muhammad and Ali, Muhammad and the Quran and Majid. Ya Allah, protect our ulama, our maraja who are serving while the Imam is in occultation. Protect our holy sites and the shrines of the Aimma, the Masumin alayhi salam. We ask you, we beg you for the month of Ramadan al-Sharif, Ya Allah. Return our Mawla Imam al-Hujjah quickly to us. Let us be able to see Zamana al-Dhuhur with our own eyes. Let us be amongst the Ashab and the Ansar of the Imam. And let us be with the Imam till the end of our lives. رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ. If we can join together and recite 5 times Amma Yajibu for the Mu'mineen in our community, in our worldwide community who are ill, for their shifa, for our hajat to be accepted, for the hifazat of Imam Zamana, for the hifazat, the protection and the safety of all the shrines, in all the places where the shrines of the Masumeen, as well as the Ghair Masumeen, the Ahlul Bayt's followers, the Ahlul Bayt's family are, for their protection and safety, and inshallah for the safety and the security of the Mu'mineen who are suffering in Iraq, who are suffering in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, in Palestine, in Bosnia, in Syria, in Bahrain, in Eastern Hijaz, in Egypt, in Indonesia, in Malaysia, wherever there is suffering of any humans, inshallah, all together, inshallah, 5 times. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amma yujibu dharra wa yakshifu as-su'. Amma yujibu al-mudtarra idha da'a wa yakshifu as-su'. Amma yujibu al-mudtarra idha da'a wa yakshifu as-su'. Amma yujibu al-mudtarra idha da'a ويكشف السوء. اللهم صل على one surah Fatiha for all the marhumin who are no longer with us. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alayhim ghayril maghdubi 'alayhim waladdallin. Sadaqallahu al-'azim. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. وان صلوات على محمد وعلى محمد.